sounded like the dorm was under a demonic attack as the windows and doors shook with the music of Led Zeppelin. I rushed through the hallway with my hands over my ears past 107 where the music was coming from, opened the door to 108, and found Harry in bed with the covers pulled over his head. "Harry! Harry, are you awake?" I shouted as loud as I could while shaking him. His head came up from under the covers. "Yeah, Fed. Led Zeppelin. Night makes me drowsy," shouted my roommate, who was wearing cotton in his ears. "Did you get the battery?" I yelled in his ear. What?" Harry yelled. "The battery! The battery!" I bellowed. "Oh, there!" he screamed and pointed to a paper bag on his desk. I pulled out the battery, a car battery, and some wire, found the Ford Model T ignition and guillotine switch I had around, and started working while things shook around on the desk. I felt like a soldier in a combat zone stringing wire for a field telephone. Just as I connected the ignition to the radiator, I heard over the raging music the ring of a telephone. Phones in the 70s were certainly a lot louder than their 21st century counterparts. "Hello!" I slammed in the receiver. "Peter, what's noise?" "Led Zeppelin, and it's gonna stop friggin' now," I yelled triumphantly as I closed the guillotine switch with a decisive snap. A spark shot from it which hit me in the chest and threw me across the room. I'd forgotten about that. I crashed into my desk chair and fell back against the far wall. The sound of 1,000 jet engines at full power filled the room, and in a daze I heard through the walls, "What the fuck? Yeah, hurts! Oh God, this cheap equipment! No! Get off!" Then everything was quiet. I sat against the wall with a throbbing head, thinking this must be what it feels like after an artillery barrage. Harry was taking the cotton out of his ears and laughing uncontrollably, but he wasn't making a sound. When he could get a breath, he whispered, "Are you okay, Feddersen?" "Fine," I whispered back at him as I got to my feet and rubbed my head. We stood there laughing soundlessly, but so hard that we were bent over. Soon, the jet barrage started again, but stopped 5 seconds later for good that night, and we heard muffled noises through the wall. "Don't go to shit. I'm not going to go again, shit." And yet another obstacle to a better academic career had been lifted, because the demonic stereo had been exorcised. Overall, a good day. We'll never start drinking. Can study in the dorm any time now. Herb and I are working on algebra, have made up with Catherine, and as for Tammy... Uh-oh. I ran over to the receiver, which was still hanging from the cord, and heard only the dial tone. Good. I hung up the phone. But did Tammy say she was still in town?